the Trundle ban by BLG back on the blue side with the Nidalee added in there for a little bit of flair towards the TheShy.
We have some different bans here. I think that the Callista was a round 2 ban for IG. Of course, it can be round 1 as we still have the Varus taken off the board. So not wanting to give that one over to Elk. And then, yeah, still taking away the Talia. I will be honest, I don't know which pick was dropped in terms of bans to get that Callista in round 1 from IG compared to game 1. Of course, that Nidalee, I don't know what was dropped on that side either. But we do have a first pick Gwen. Insta Aurora response. I'm curious if that ends up going to the TheShy or Rookie.
It is a pick that the TheShy likes into the Gwen typically.
So
Insta luck, just throwing hands in the draft right now.
Well, I think that BLG get a much better start to this draft in game 1. As the Gwen, Wukong, Sejuani, this is like just a Thanos combo. Because you have Sejuani on the top side, you have ways to play this out early. And then because you have Gwen, Yone, and there's absolutely ridiculous, filthy scaling later on, you always have ways to play things out later on. So I think the Jax pick is necessary to try and get out of all the auto attacks that will be coming out from these champions. It does give you, I think after a lot of the changes to Gwen, that Jax matchup, like it used to be a good matchup for Jax, it's kind of back in Jax's favor after Gwen got nerfed. So I just think IG gave BLG the kitchen sink. And now,
absolutely.
I mean, if you ban Nautilus and Leona, like, can you play out from there? I'm kind of curious to see what happens, because I think with the Poppy being slotted into the jungle, that did ding the support pool a little bit more. With Poppy, of course, being a champ that can be played there later on too.
And I do like the Jax steal away as well against Ben for later parts of the series itself, but we'll see the bot lane focus for the second round of bans. It's the Nautilus and the Braum. We'll see what they leave on the table in the ADC position.
Yeah, I find this one interesting. It's like on paper, BLG, like this draft is really tough to beat, but in terms of value of Jax and Wukong this game, it's pretty high.
It's pretty high.
So I do think that there are ways for IG to play out of this. They're just going to have to... I'm curious what they want from bot lane. Because like for me at BLG, their answer in bot lane is pretty easy. Like, let's just play fast. As they take away the Rakan. So no Xayah Rakan combo. I think that Xayah is still a pretty good pick for Elk in this scenario if he wants it. But taking away one of On's best champions and pairing for that, I actually quite like. And I'm really curious if Meiko just slams Leona. Because that is like the last big engaged support that's up. It has been Meiko's most played throughout playoffs.
I could definitely see it. You can tell it's like a little bit hesitant on what they want to go with in the end. It is going to be the Lucian ban for that bot lane 2v2.
Do we have a Leona slam? If it is a Leona slam, I think it ends up being like a Renata counter for On. Which he has, like, On's Renata is very, very good. I just don't know what kind of pairing you find. So, again, I really like the top side that BLG has. Like, again, your ability to make early plays with the Sejuani and then scale with the Gwen Yone, it's really real. But I'm really curious to see what kind of bot lane they actually go for here in Mazel. Because I think a lot of the options are... Like, you could run I think a Senna lane might be a good deny. Honestly, like, I like that for BLG. I think that... a Senna would be good, but I don't know what you pair up with a Senna. Or you just slam MF and go from there. Or Kaisa over the top. Like, Jax value goes even higher. I think this is risky.
Yeah, I don't know how I like it, but maybe if we get the Uzi skin.
Dude, how insane is Xayah or Senna here? I'd actually quite like... I think Shen actually helps out a lot here. I actually really like the Shen. Shen support against
the kind of OP here.
You can get away, or the Q... stun. Obviously, if you drop your W as Shen, you can actually get out of that. Then you give a bonus shield to go in the back line. I actually quite like that. But yeah, I mean, how good is Senna Xayah here? Like, I feel like IG actually feel really good with either of these champions. I think with the Shen coming in, Xayah makes a little bit more sense for me. Your ability to go airborne, try and get out of whatever combo that's coming to you in the back line helps. My only concern is that there is a lot of stuff that BLG can use to try and bleed out that Xayah ult. That, of course, has an extremely long cooldown.
Yeah, and it's really difficult once you don't have that to play safe into a comp like this who is just going to be running at you. As we come to the end of this draft, though, I think BLG got what they wanted, and they're trying to take that step forward positively into this series. They did very good.
They did. I really like what IG has in draft, though. I think it'll be really hard to find a game where like you feel better as a Wukong, feel better as a Jax, feel better as a Xayah even, and it's not like IG don't have the ability to pull the trigger. I mean, they have a Leona. Like, you can always go in as Meiko and Leona. So, I think for BLG, it's going to be about playing towards the top side, but everyone on this team does a lot of damage. And I think that as the game goes on, like, the scaling of Wukong Jax is really real. And IG's going to have to find those snap engages in those windows where they can try and get big chunks and not allow the DPS to really take over for BLG, is you cannot out DPS a Gwen, Yone, Kai'Sa if they're allowed to auto attack. But I think there are a lot of ways to actually prevent that if you're IG. So I find this very interesting as a draft.
Yeah, and it's a game too where it's either a match point setup for IG or a tied series where we have no doubt 4 games. Both teams know the stakes that are on the line. MSI, a chance at the grand finals. BLG, they're working on their 3rd MSI appearance in a row, where IG are looking for their first finals precipice in almost 6 years. And at the beginning of this year, they were both in very interesting positions. The super team formed by IG, BLG trying to continue dominance, and now we get the culmination of those roads here, at least in the second split. Can BLG turn back this series and get this tied up to 1-1, or do IG start that potential run to get to those finals and find Rookie at an international once again? Game 2 in Beijing kicking off now. The Gios roar.
And IG fans, pretty excited after that first game. I can't blame them. It was a fantastic start to the series if you are an IG fan. And again, looking at this game, I mean, I really feel like TheShy on Jax could be that late game game breaker. When Jax gets big, when he's level 16, I mean, every time you throw up the Counter-Strike, that's going to be really tough to deal with. If you are a BLG, which is a really auto-attack reliant composition. So I feel like this game, the window, if BLG, again, if they're allowed to freely DPS, there's no way that IG can beat that. But there are so many ways that IG can prevent or slow down that DPS or play around it, this is an interesting one for me. Because I think that Gwen, Sejuani, Yone is really tough to beat. But if any comp's going to do it, I actually really like IG's draft to do so.
Okay. I like it. Also, just as a little note, like a lot of big steals. Obviously, Gala's Kai'Sa is going to be on the other side of things. Hilariously enough, as well, as we saw when we were loading in, Elk is using the IG skin. You know, take with that what you will. But in the end, it's a lot of big pigs.
You know?
Yeah, you got to send the message.
And
it's Gala's Kai'Sa, too.
Yeah, you can't play it in the series. I'm playing it, and I'm using your skin, too. So, eat that, you know? I think it's very real from Elk. As we'll say, I think notable Unsealed Spellbook. I think it was buffed in the patch we're playing on here for LPL. It's 1511. So it's going to be snagged by On. Actually quite like that. I think it'd be really creative on the Shen. Shout out to Zazel. NACL support. Did win the split and was really taking advantage of the Shen support. I think this really can augment the top side. And why I like the Shen so much is that not only is it decent in the Leona, being able to dissuade those auto attacks, but you also can really play for your Gwen, Sejuani, Yone topside that you got to believe BLG is going to play for. As we do see TheShy getting some dirty farming in here. Actually going to get a lot of info. I like this from him a lot. I don't think this can be punished.
I do have both junglers pathing opposite sides, so maybe a little bit of focus from Jiejie towards that bot side, relieve some of that 2v2 pressure. And while the back will be initiated, Zenith Blade goes wide, but the Blade Caller, Elk has to flash away instantaneously. Now On, trying to find his exit here. He's going to flash, get stunned anyways. The Ignite coming down now. It doesn't look like it. Zenith Blade's there, Blade Caller in, and On is gone. The tech is not working. It did not compute, and first blood to IG.
I didn't see it even throw down a W, or like we're level 2. Is it QE only for Shen? Because that's a huge mistake. Again, with the Kai'Sa, you do get early push in this lane, in this matchup, but man, Meiko he came to play today, Mazel. And that's really exciting as an IG fan. Again, this guy is the support GOAT.
Oh my god! Rookie just solo bolo Knight.
Oh,
what the hell?
You can hear it over in Beijing too. The surprise Knight, the golden left hand of BLG, trying to get back to his streak of 4 final victories in a row in the LPL. He needs to overcome IG and Rookie to do so. Rookie finding the solo bolo, that's massive.
That is actually so wild. The TP comes back, so Knight will be able to kind of recoup a little bit. Rookie's got the advantage in mid lane now.
No, it's really bad now for Knight, because this wave, Rookie gets to farm 2, 3, 4 more waves before he actually has to base and TP himself. So the item advantage that he's going to have coming into this matchup, you're only sitting on a dagger as Yone. Like, that's not Berserker Greaves. You really need Greaves to actually be able to dodge out on skill shots and function in this matchup. The fact that that's really delayed. If Rookie can play this out well, I would love to see Jiejie actually come to this lane and try and help Rookie get a favorable base, because I really feel like they could jail the Yone.
Yeah, they definitely could. And that will be a really hard thing to deal with for BLG. You have so much scaling on the side of Bilibili right now. And those first, second, third item spikes are really a big stepping point for them. But if you're already down, you're trying to fight this out. I mean, your first item is going to be fully delayed now by Knight.
Yeah, I mean, again, like how Rookie's pointing this out, like you're going to see Knight's going to have to reach to find some of these creeps. I would love to see Jiejie and Meiko make their way to the mid lane. Go punish that TP with Yone. Set him back to Narnia. And really slow down what you can do in the side lanes here is... Okay, Knight's going to get a pretty decent base off at the moment, as Rookie's just going to clean this up. Did hit 6.
Be all right.
Still think that it's pretty important. Oh, TheShy's going to do some more dirty farming. This is going to be dangerous, though. He just burned the Q. That was spotted by BLG, and Beichuan's here.
Yeah, Beichuan thinking about going over the wall. He's going to go over, miss the flail. It's fine.
Oh,
TheShy goes back over. They just trade spots.
I mean, now we're just going to waste Beichuan's time. An extra grass block. Why not? Position yourself so that the camp's hitting Beichuan, not you. TheShy with no aftershock.
Not bad. Still level advantage for Ben in the end.
Yeah.
For now, at least.
That's from the wave that he was able to get in. That's actually not that bad for TheShy. Like, the fact that he got that wave, it's now pushing back into him. So I know it looks bad on paper, and Ben's going to have a lot of items, but frankly, him spotting Beichuan did open this up with IG winning bot lane. I think this Dragon on time before the grub is really big that IG takes this on time.
Dude, what is it, man? Red side IG is showing up tonight, Cubby.
I mean, it's got to be the coach speech, right?
True.
Meiko in an interview said that...
the unsealed spellbook? Oh, get it.
He can do it.
Only 600.
He's got a smite.
No,
okay.
he gets up. All right. He only had 600
I missed that
damage.
one, Mazel. That was good catch.
I was like, what is he doing there? And I saw he switched over to the smite. But unfortunately, you just have the basic smite, so it's only 600 in the end. So it's a little bit more difficult.
It was creative, and you can see he probably instantly smited the cannon minion to make sure that, you know, you could share that one.
At least uses it, you know.
He's like, I don't want this anymore. That's a waste of
Please get this off my screen.
Yeah. Look at the bowling, though, that Rookie's able to do. He's got that early catalyst. He's holding that wave and really making good work of that mid lane matchup. Ooh, they managed to go for Beichuan.
Over Beichuan.
Yeah. Knight's up here to hover. That's going to mean that the next mid wave, again, he's losing out a lot. Like, whenever Knight moves here to help his topside or his jungler, look at where the wave is for Rookie. There's a lot more creeps on Knight's side pushing in. So he's losing more golden XP. And, man, Rookie putting on a masterclass in the mid lane, man. I've been so impressed by Rookie. I mean, yeah, he did slam Karis in WE, but let's be honest, that's Karis. You know, slamming Karis versus slamming Knight, that's an entirely different story.
It absolutely is. I mean, Knight is the most prolific mid laner. He's gone to multiple organizations, found multiple titles across the board. And now in this game so far, in this series, he is being fully handled. As Rookie also going to get the brunt of BLG's ire. Both mid laners taking a lot of pressure here.
I think Rookie's okay. He's really respecting that wave, though, because he's going to base, and they're going to play grubs. So, yes, Rookie's going to lose a little bit here on the bot side. Knight was able to pick up most of what was in the mid lane, but Rookie just going to take his lumps and give up a wave, give up a couple plates, and there's going to be grubs going over to IG.
The grubs will help them with a lot of that siege potential as well. Some of that side laning pressure.
I mean, it's a big deny. I think it's more of a deny than a win this game. Because, again, you're going up against Yone Glenn.
And I think that that's going to be a really big... Oh. He doesn't stop.
On's going to get out. Okay, this means that Jiejie only gets 2. I think it's going to be a 2-1 split. There's no way that Jiejie can stick around for this. Because you have Shen ult up now. So you'd be numbers disadvantage top. So, yeah. IG going to respectfully drop that. And top side of IG, I think TheShy is going to have to be scared. He has given up a lead over to Bin. I think that Bin overachieving what you're supposed to be at in this matchup. So that's a good sign for BLG early on. I think up 20, definitely a little bit more than what I mean. Like Gwen should be up, I think, at this point, but not up 20. But a really difficult game for TheShy, just having to deal with the Sejuani and the Stand United. Do you think we're going to see him play even more respectfully, hopefully, coming up here? Is yeah, they're actually going to try and get him out of that matchup. Hell of a swap coming out here from IG. TheShy going bot, Rookie going top to face this Gwen, and then we're going to have the bot lane mid for IG.
All right, interesting set. Man, I'm just getting so enthused because like, there's a couple things we have to like refocus on. BLG's comp, I know you were talking about some ins and outs for IG, but BLG's comp is strong, just outright. Once they start finding these combinations, but those combinations need to come. The theme so far of the series is the lack of coordination between BLG, and I think we see IG continuing to take advantage of that in a game number 2 of a best of 5.
I mean, this is... I just wasn't expecting to be here in the series overall, Mazel.
Dude, right?
Yeah, I'm really surprised. Just like what we're seeing, some of the trends we're seeing so far. I mean, Meiko has been on fire so far in this series. I think that for me is the biggest thing. If you're an IG fan, I know that Rookie's playing really well.
No, he just dodged out of both needleworks.
I mean, Rookie is playing really well. This guy came to play, but for me, like Rookie's been playing good all playoffs. I think that Meiko has been the one where, like, if you want IG win again, we kind of set up that on paper, the solo lane is exciting, right? Like it's very sexy, the matchup that we have. But I really feel like bot lane is where this one could be decided. Has been good job slinking out of that between worlds, but can he get out of this game? Standard ID coming in.
You got the TP.
They're pulling it
see
still.
the solar flare coming in
Whoa.
onto both of them. The cyclone coming through as well on left out. Meiko almost dies, so close, but BLG, they do end up making it out of that dive from IG.
I know blood, but still waves lost and a turret pressured as TheShy very far up here. Beichuan making his way around, but we got a counter strike up. Can we cancel the leap strike? We cannot.
Okay.
Okay.
Does get
Respectful.
the flash out.
That's okay. I mean, flash on Jax is only so valuable. And he saves his health bar and gets the caddy. So I think TheShy is the real winner here.
Oh, on. Oh my god, Rookie's dead. He goes in back in.
Oh, the dash. On.
He doesn't end up getting him on with the outplay.
That's huge. That's a summoner spellbook coming in big. Had the exhaust. Bin drops the ignite. And that's a nice little win. Rookie flashback in, loses it. That dash got on the shield. As Elk gonna have to trade his ult with TheShy, but Meiko's coming down. Beichuan on the cover. That's gonna dissuade IG. So good win for BLG on the top side. Really well played by On.
Yeah, a little bit of something back there. I think that's really huge in a game where you're wondering what kind of advantage they can build. That's a little bit of something that can go in the right direction.
Look at the mid lane CS too. Like these swaps from IG, it's been really beneficial for
working.
Knight. Yeah, he's been able to get back into the game. And again, we all know what happens when that Yone gets bork. It doesn't really matter how your early game went.
It's a menace.
It's trouble. So that's really big. I think that Rookie's splitting the last couple of waves and also getting starved out of that bot wave. Actually pretty impactful in flipping this matchup.
On still going to have a big say in a lot of these fights, even if the early game didn't go well either. Trying to have that impact that Meiko had in that last game as well on this Shen. It could be a crucial pick as we move forward. Dragon number 2 in the eyes of IG. Dragon number 1 for them, for BLG, as they started up. IG full force here, but don't have their side lane.
I love this for BLG. We're 8 seconds away from Wukong ultimate, so I think IG has to wait for that. BLG might be playing it off this timer.
The taunt comes in. They actually just lock down Jiejie outright. Jiejie is gone. Knight gets the kill there. On flashes away right into the smack by TheShy. Here comes Rookie, though. The Dragon still about 1,000 health here. They don't have Jiejie, but Beichuan is coming back around the corner. TheShy, he's going to get the big counter strike there. Beichuan takes the Dragon, and now they get the re-engage. Meiko split from the rest of the team, but the Blade Caller, it's not enough, but the damage might be. Elk stepping up now as well as the Cloud Soul Rift hits. Gala locked in the cage with Elk, who finds himself a triple kill.
I need a second look at that one. That was chaos. I think the snap engage from Beichuan finding Jiejie without the W, really big. I'm not sure if that was off or Jiejie didn't react, but the Wukong being one shot was the big difference there from BLG. Great execute from them, and they went out on the long fight. TheShy, he was able to buy a lot of time and space, but at the start of that, I really felt like IG could contest it, but as the fight kind of devolved, it was Elk that ends up coming out with all the kills, and that's dangerous if you're IG in this one.
You gotta take a look back at this one. I mean, it's so like chickens with their heads cut off running around here.
That's a really aggressive E from Jiejie. He gets one shot before he even gets the W off. Meiko and Gala do his best to peel out. And then this one, the Between Worlds, both Elk and Beichuan were able to get out of there. Rookie does a little of a do-si-do that was a little bit inefficient, as our observers are pointing out. And then Beichuan, the re-engage the back half, actually quite good.
Ben hitting that needlework across the team too. Gala forced.
I don't like how Gala played this.
Yeah.
I think his Rip Flash was really poor. I think if he Rip Flashes Beichuan, he could actually get the Sejuani and walk out.
And then he gets out too.
Yeah, was not the case. He really got himself stuck there. So I think on hindsight, I missed that from Gala first time around. Definitely a misplay from him. And a misplay from Jiejie, who got caught out. I mean, the E into the E from Shen. Not exactly the trade you were looking for there. And a nice snap engage by On and Beichuan.
And I gotta say, you got the cash in coming in for Elk, as well as getting 3 kills for himself now on the Kaisa. Gonna be real big moving forward into this mid game. Also, the fact that they were able to get that dragon, evening it up to give themselves a better leeway in the objectives here. As speaking of the objectives, Rift Herald's gonna be coming up in about 10 seconds. BLG are fully present around that side of the map.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious if IG can even answer this Rift or not. Looks like they're not playing for it. As Rookie doing his best to kind of hold this top lane. And man, I really want to take inventory of how Rookie got behind. I know that he was starved out of a bot wave, and then they went for the top play that failed. But he was up pretty big on Knight. Looks like IG.
To punish Knight. Oh, I don't know if they've got this one. Stand United's coming down. The Shy's already lost half his health. The double knockup comes through, and On goes for the taunt now. Triple fate sealed as they get the Killer Instinct in too, but it's not going to be enough. The Killer Instinct, rather, being able to help get into the fight, and full wipe of the bot lane play from IG, and now BLG want to capitalize even more. Maybe they take down 4 members of IG.
That is an utter disaster. Like, the taunt there, it guarantees you take tower aggro. So I really feel like if anyone starts that, it kind of has to be TheShy with Counter-Strike to threaten. But really felt like IG just so puzzled once they saw the E come out, the Stand United come in. That's 2 dives in a row they've gone for. We're on with the Stand United has completely changed the play.
And I got to give big props to Knight there. The mechanics to the 3-man fate sealed after all of that. Incredible stuff, and a level up from Knight here in this series where he got fully gapped by Rookie in that game number 1. And he is the standard for a reason.
Yeah, he did some gapping there. I still feel like he was gapped in lane at least. Like his team really had to play around the Yone being weak, but man, he's not weak no more. That's a scary Yone. Ahead of the curve compared to Rookie, who did find that really big, impactful solo kill early on. Did force Knight to miss a wave and TP back, but just not enough for IG to punish. And I really feel like the Stand United from this Shen pick. I was really curious what support they were going to go for. Like, you look at this Leona being slammed, you think On's pull, I'm like, oh god, it's just got to be a Renata game, right? But no, actually able to find the Shen into the Leona. He's been nothing but impactful in this one. I know that he gave up that first blood. That was a bit of a bummer, but from there, this has been really good play. And BLG read this one really well.
Nuts.
Yeah, I mean, IG really played into this. It is nuts from Knight, but they still fully sent it on top of a Stand United and a Yone that had Q3 and all. And that was not the right decision.
Beichuan gonna get the charge in. They do have at least a little bit of help from the Rift Herald there. Won't be able to get the turret in the end. Gonna be moving over to the solo lane though, as Knight trying to take the 1v1 to the side. TheShy stits him down, steps up, and now mid lane BLG want to fight back. They want something. Jiejie finds On. Trying to look for his Cyclone play. Here comes the TP. That's double coming through. Rookie and TheShy are flanking, but the TP into the fight from BLG. Bin is in there. Rookie gets wall banged in the inner, at least with the taunt. And now TheShy finds angle on. Trying to take him down, but that extra Knight a little bit now set up as Knight is gone. You don't have that damage, and TheShy, he's big on the Jax now to the blade, calling the flash from Gala. Gets his response triple kill from Elk.
Look. BLG just opted into a 4v5. Like, why? Why are we TPing in like that? I'm so surprised. Like, we just saw a play go wayside. The Stand United was down. We do not need to make that play for BLG. Mid outer turret baits them again, and IG finds a really favorable fighting angle for them, and we start to see some of the value of the Jax in this game. Is okay, Knight wants to fight still.
The golden left hand about to put a choke slam right into IG. The dragon is gone. They decide not to pull the play. And there ain't no entertainment here. It ain't the WWE, and that TP plus Stand United play is gone.
I think it is entertainment, Mazel. We just saw a huge throw. Well, we see those in WWE.
That's football, bro.
I mean, we throw people in the WWE as well. As Knight, really well played by TheShy. He buffers his Counter-Strike with the Tempered Fate from Knight, so it's a double stun. And the flash and leap strike over was just enough to survive. He wins that out, able to TP back. And again, And this is such a hard force for mid-outer. We do not need to do this, BLG. On top of that, why are we TPing in? This is a 4v5. You lost in the bot lane play. Please respect your conditions on the map. This is what the mistakes that BLG made last game that really enabled IG to come back.
Oh.
As, okay, we return. Knight's going to find a kill, and that's probably the mid-inner going down. As BLG back on the map and back on forms. Didn't exactly see how that one developed. BLG still have a pretty big win, but again, we're taking a lot of plays and fights so far in the series from BLG. I just don't feel like are acceptable, and IG has been good enough to punish.
They really have. As you see, thanks to Kelsey Moser. 100% win rate when ahead at 15. They were ahead at 15 here. As we take a look at how that play started off, yeah, Rookie just getting completely caught out there, actually. Just no hope.
Well, that's nice, because that's 2 kills we missed then. So able to set behind the solo laners. Again, if I am BLG this game, I really feel like where the Jax is valuable is, yes, Gwen and Yone, I scale to infinity, but God, that Jax later on, like in this game, level 16 with Counter-Strike up, you take him in the Yone games, because if it goes like if it's a 5-6 item game, Jax does win the Yone matchup. He doesn't exactly win. The Gwen matchup's a little bit more of a skill matchup. Gwen's a terror, but he does win the Yone matchup later on.
Okay, they're just going to force it. They have, I mean, Knight is on the flank over here. They have a full-on pincer maneuver. This is a play that we've seen BLG make so many times, but Bin is not here. Beichuan is coming around the corner, trying to catch Gala. They're focusing on the Atacon. He's going to instantly cleanse, though, as they try to take this fight. Rookie actually has a little bit of an angle. The Arctic Assault misses. Gala doesn't get knocked up. Meanwhile, the Atacon is still up for grabs. Gala finds the kill. Jiejie is there. He will take it. Atacon secured. Still a 4,000 gold lead, though, for BLG. And Knight wants to put the finishing touches. The schmoves on this one, and look at him go. He is able to help Elk, at least in that regard, get a solo bolo onto Rookie.
All right, Yone moment at the end still. I really like the setup that IG has here. Like, they're playing around Bin, who is really strong on the map right now, and really outplayed Beichuan. Also utilized their range really well. Like, again, the terrain that they had in that fight, there's a range advantage for Gala. If Kaisa, isn't going to ult in and close the gap, watch how Elk gets stuck here. And yeah, like Beichuan taking this, and Meiko's able to catch, and Elk's take in, he can't get through the Otacon. He doesn't feel aggressive enough to actually push and be able to wrap up Rookie or actually get to the back line. There's no Stand United to help him out, and yeah, he just gets stuck. So I think that the terrain that IG took that around, again, just focusing on one side of the fight, I do feel like Beichuan kind of opened up that angle for them, which, if there's any mistake, I feel like that's one to point to, but I really like how IG is taking these fights so far. I feel like the terrain, the objective control that they've demonstrated so far in the series has been far superior to what we've seen from BLG.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's been kind of a little bit of theme developing in this one, but I gotta say, the check-in is nigh. 2-item spikes across the table. We're starting to get closer and closer to that 3-item spike for BLG, where they just become monsters. And we've already hit that for Elk.
Gala trying to close the gap. We'll have an Infinity Edge pretty soon to try and match. As I know that, like, on my screen, I see a Gwen, a Yone. I'm like, okay, this is probably the comp that can outscale. I don't want to discount what the Wukong, what the Jax can do. I really feel like I think a lot of fans at home will see Kaisa, Gwen, Yone, and be like, okay, this team just wins late. There are a lot of ways that IG can make it so that they cannot auto-attack and DPS, whether it's range, whether it's abilities. I don't think that this game is done and dusted. And yes, it's a 4K gold lead for a team that does scale really well in BLG, and they have control at the moment. We have seen them make mistakes today in this series, and we have seen IG be able to punish. So
yeah,
I really feel like if this game goes late, this is not a game that's yet done and dusted, which you see Gwen Yone and where we're at, you kind of assume that. Meiko has a flash.
Caught out here is going to flash away from the Glacial Prison. That's going to be huge. And yeah, I mean, it's just really the thing I love about both these drafts and the way that a lot of this is going to rely on mechanical execution. Both of these teams, we've said from the get-go, have clutch factors. Beichuan going to walk straight into a play from IG. But the Stand United will be used by On. It is the Dragon started by IG, but this is a little bit offset from IG. They don't have their full frontal power here.
They're okay.
Rookie and TheShy do have the flank.
Knight's late. They're going to burst it. They're going on the Shy.
Oh, they go on the Shy. The Dragon goes over. That's sole point now. The Shy tanked up all of that. Now they have the Between Worlds coming in, and Knight's getting picked on the side. BLG are starting to lose this fight. Ben goes for the needlework now. Elk goes for the killer instinct, but now he finds Elk. What are you doing?
They're so split.
He's going to get chased down by the Shy, and that is a big nail in the coffin, a nail in the lead against BLG.
I mean, why are we engaging on a Jax? Like, of any target to engage upon in this game, I think Jax is the worst person to actually go on as BLG. I understand they didn't have great objectives set up to actually fight the Dragon, but they can be so much more patient. And now they play that out, play the mid wave, cut them off back on the way in, play for a better scenario. Instead, they take the conditions given to them, they pick the wrong engaged target, and IG get a free win.
And that's a massive shutdown over to IG from Elk.
Like, again, this is a Jax.
He counters your entire team.
Fine. He's completely fine. Rookie hits a huge Between Worlds because everyone from BLG overcommits. Knight can't get into the fight. Gala does a great job of zoning him off. Frankly, Knight was late. BLG didn't help him get into the fight with how they played it. And then the way they played this one out, split, Elk burned his sums.
Oh,
and, I mean, this is a real target now for IG coming, like, moving forward. Major cooldowns burned. No summoner spells up on Kai'Sa. That's something now that Meiko can actually look to create a pick and get more.
The IG fans, they are in abundance, and they are feeling good. Third items right on the cusp for Knight. But this lead, it's slowly getting willed away at by IG. What fights we've seen from this team that knows what's at stake. BLG, they've had a tough 2025, but IG, they've had a tough 5 years in a row for the organization.
It's been rough.
And this team coming back from the grave, it feels like, and trying to put together one of the superstar-studded rosters and make that run to MSI.
I mean, talk about, like, returning the magic, you know? Bringing Rookie and the Shy back into the fold. Not to mention the names they put around them. Again, everyone on this roster has won an international championship. 4 Worlds. And an MSI. At least between these guys, right? I'm pretty sure that Meiko might have more. But, like, the pedigree of this team is just, you know, can they find the sauce to win in the year of our Lord 2025? As
can Rookie finally make it back to international?
If Flandre can do it, Flandre, of course, they'll meet him tomorrow, the victors of this one, who... Flandre wrote one of the most beautiful posts I've actually seen from a pro player. I mean, that looked like something straight out of the Players Tribune. Old publication. A shout out to them. That used to do
great shout out.
That was fantastic. But it's impossible to not root for that in that story. But of course, we have to find out who gets to match that story tomorrow between these two teams. And man,
that the grand finals
IG has showed
tomorrow.
so far, what they've showed so far, Mazel, I've been so impressed by them. And it's just been superior control.
And we have a little bit of a gunslinger battle going on here. Gala and Elk, both big pieces to the puzzle now as well. Speaking of those puzzle metrics that we've been talking about the whole night. Both sitting at 5 and 1. Both sitting at 3, almost 4 items. See if those really become the crux of these next fights. IG fighting over control. Glacial Prison going to go in. On is going to end up helping to find that first pickoff. Elk has already gotten the kill, but the Between Worlds comes in. The Shy finally joins. Ben behind. Ben a little bit by himself. He gets caught. He goes golden. That's huge, though. And On finds a double taunt. Blade Collar. Instant killer instinct on by Elk. And they clean the fight. A clean, almost ace coming through for BLG as they turn back to the Baron.
I mean, this is what makes BLG just such a terrifying team. That was a beautiful team fight from them from start to finish. Even the find onto Meiko, on the Leona. Meiko got nothing off in that fight. He gets picked. I think that his stun's really important in a game with so many melees and short range. After that, they force out Gala's ult. Instant execute from Elk. Doesn't matter that he's down sums. He finds that backline access. And IG just overwhelmed by the BLG comp. And really one of the first fights we've seen so far where that was one that was taken on BLG's terms, not IG's.
Yeah, and it was whole-handedly in their favor for this one. Really starting off by Beichuan, but the mobility that Elk showed, the kind of forward press that they can have with Bin coming on the flank,
the Between Worlds,
a ton of time.
It didn't hit. Gala takes a lot of damage from Bin here. Going golden is huge because it guarantees that the Shen gets in. They get everything out of Gala, then Elk. I mean, this is just clinical from him. Saves everything to find the backline. Great fate sealed by Knight as well. And yeah, that's going to make it a pretty easy fight from BLG.
And now that lead, it is a little bit different than
is.
we've seen before. And BLG's composition definitely playing towards that.
And this is, like, in a way, this game is just BLG in a nutshell. Like,
it is.
This is what makes the team so damn scary, because at any point they can just do that and play that fight where, I mean, look at how unplayable it looks for IG, really off of just, and Meiko ate a Sejuani all without W procced. He goes down instantly, and then from there, it's just, like, how clinical they play the rest of that fight out. Like, that is why this team is so feared, not just by LPL teams, but by international teams as well. I mean, this is a team that you do not want to see go international, because the raw skill that exists on this roster, it really is a roster to compete with anyone in the world. They've proved that with 4 out of 5 players in this core. They're going to prove that with Beichuan in the lineup here as well, as a good trigger pull by Beichuan and the team there does net themselves a pretty big advantage.
And I got to give props where props are due, right? Like, I was talking about the gunslinger battle, but this game has fully adapted into Elk versus Gala in a lot of ways. And Elk is sitting at 8-1, almost full build on the Kai'Sa in the IG skin as well. But I know Elk has had a triumphant come up, at least. He's always been good for BLG. He's been a consistent, carry factor for them over the last 3+ years. Yeah. But the factor that he has been in these playoffs as of late for this team has been a level up when we've seen some slacking from other members throughout this split number 2.
This is a curious one from BLG. Gala's a little bit more in range than Elk.
Top lane a little bit. Yeah, Meiko just dies. The Lord Dom's really coming in clutch for Elk.
He tried to save the flash. I did like how they spaced out the Glacial Prison with the W pop on the Eclipse from Meiko. I think that was really nice. But Meiko goes down without burning his own R. It's going to be an inhibitor traded for a turret for Rookie. He's going to be back here in about 10 seconds. More. The push continues. That's 2 inhibitors for BLG. BLG, they are a fantastic Baron team. I really like how they play the Barons. Just a narrow 4-1. No other way to slice and dice it. They know the drill and try and wrap this one up in the 5v4. I don't think they have the sauce to get through. Yeah, I don't think they have the sauce to finish this one up. But that's still 2 inhibs secure. I mean, that's a dream Baron for BLG. And with the synced up timers, with the objectives we have coming up here, Mazel, I do think that IG, I want to see how creative and frisky they want to get around this Baron.
And in 2024, BLG rose to prominence. After a year of 2023 being put down by the likes of JDG, BLG found back-to-back championships for the first time in the organization's history. We did not see that same level in spring of this year, in split number 1 at least, winter I guess technically. But here in split number 2, it feels like it has been a little bit of a more akin to what we've seen from BLG last year. And can you imagine if they win this series, 3 MSI appearances in a row? That is a feat not accomplished by many organizations in the history of League of Legends.
It's only T1. They would tie them with this, I mean, pretty much the same core, right? The only difference would be the junglers. I think they made those MSIs with different junglers every time, or at least different junglers in the roster. That's kind of funny. But
it is really.
Yeah, I mean, it just, again, goes to show the talent that this core has. The talent that IG is going to have to find a way to overcome. As I think a lot of the strengths for IG in this series, it has been objective control and setups. And yeah, when you're this jailed this late in the game, it's really tough to get out on the map and actually get any of those things going in your favor. But this game really feels like, I mean, I really felt like this series would be kind of decided by the bot lanes. And I think that on this game compared to game 1, major step up from him, as well as Elk on this Kai'Sa. Had a couple of really strong fights later on. We saw Gala get lost to the Dragon fight, and I think the Baron, or the fight before Baron, he played out about as well as he could, but that's a tough one. As Rookie forced to pop the R to get on out of there. That's a tool taken away. As BLG, honestly, just kind of pushing waves and taking jungle camps here, Mazel. This is a pretty quiet game state. I will say that with no camps up, this actually does benefit IG, just keeping things neutral like this.
Yeah, a 10,000 gold lead, though, maybe changes that perspective here as Meiko.
It's stabilized at the moment,
you know. Stabilize the ship that's already 1,000 meters under the water. It's fine.
I mean, they
keep
have
the air bubble.
Gala's at 4 items. It's only a Seekers that's up for Elk. That Seekers can be really big on a Kai'Sa, but still. Jax with Zanya's. That's a really big tool for him.
You've gotten to that 3 items that you were talking about.
Yeah, I think that the Zanya's, again, can really enable you to, just get that Counter-Strike or Leap Strike back up. Buy some more time as the Jax. And I love Rookie's build right now. Didn't want to finish the Zanya's. He hasn't popped the Seekers. He's going to sprint towards that death cap if he's allowed to. If not, he can pop the Seekers and get a quick Zanya's here. QSS and the Yone, though, also really big for Knight. So if they are able to catch the Yone at all, it does have one get out of jail free card.
Those little mechanical moments will be extremely important. But Dragon, Soul is on the table for IG, but the Baron is going to be the play from BLG. They just immediately melt it. TheShy does have TP, can join. I'm surprised that IG want to contest this here. They are going to force Beichuan to be a little bit finicky.
They're buying a lot of time.
Stand United's coming through as they do get the engage there.
Decent start.
Yeah, it gets into the pit, but can't get it. That's going to be Beichuan securing. TP secured by Knight as he got the GA, and this game is looking over. Gala going to go with the Blade Dancer combo as well. Going to flash out from Beichuan. Here comes Elk. Elk comes through, misses the Void Seeker in the end, but IG are scattered to the win now. TheShy trying to get the big plays now, gets the double, tries to find another exit, but unfortunately will have to burn his flash for it. Elk flashes himself and finds the kill onto him, as now it's Meiko being ran down by Beichuan, but BLG, they know exactly where they need to go. They've got the postmark, and they are ready to stamp it here as Rookie trying to take down the minions that are about to assault his base, but we all know what we have, and it's a series on our hands, baby. We expect the distance from these two teams in the fight for MSI, and BLG have woken from their mighty slumber. We're going to game 3.
Nice game from BLG again. They got that Yone, Gwen, Sejuani draft, one that I'm pretty illegal to give over. I think if we're going to play any draft into it, as IG actually didn't mind what they had. For me, big difference, though. I really feel like how they played out those fights. I'd be curious to watch it from Gala's perspective, because Gala wasn't able to be effective in the last 2 big fights we saw around the Baron. And I think part of that was how IG played around it. Part of that was Gala misplaying a little bit. But I feel like the 3 deaths that Gala had, all 3 fights, he did not play very well. Meanwhile, easy game for Elk to play. When you have Gwen, Yone, Sejuani in the front line, I mean, you're just waiting to see them get Kai'Sa's summoner spell, or Xayah's summons and tools out. Just go over the top as Kai'Sa and wrap things up. And we saw that be pretty easy for BLG in that one. So I thought it was a really cohesive draft from them. I actually really did like IG's answer, but BLG really good in the last few fights. Just absolutely shut the door on IG.
Execution diff, and BLG's 100% win rate when ahead at 15 will stay alive. Little thing, little shout out Kelsey Moser as well. But
they were ahead of 15 in the last game. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, well maybe Kelsey Moser. we'll take a look.
It wasn't counting. It wasn't counting this series so far.
In the end, though, it is really a kind of wake up call for BLG in a series that matters. I mean, this is either your split ending or going to MSI, going to a grand finals. I think all players on the Rift know exactly where this series is heading, and I think it's a really big wake up from BLG. I think there were still some moments where you're questioning some of the togetherness, some of the calls, but that's what's made this BLG team so fun to follow, is all of a sudden they just become this titan and become a really unstoppable force. So trying to see if IG's momentum can kind of be regained in this situation, or if BLG have wrestled control of it. They're going to be on red side probably, I'm just saying.
Yeah, probably. Again, I think that's like a lot of power picks that are going to be gone after that draft. Yeah. I think that if you tell me that IG or BLG gets that top side, I think they're probably going to win most games with Gwen, Sejuani, Yone. So if you're an IG fan, I guess you can kind of take that as cope. I think if you're a BLG fan, the biggest thing you take away from that, On and Elk had a good game. I did not feel like they really showed up in game 1. They felt a little bit invisible. That game, this time around, I really feel like On outplayed IG. And man, IG got to take inventory. There was 2 dives where they tried to dive through a Stand United, went sideways, and really felt like the whole game went sideways from there. They had one good fight around the Dragon that really feel like BLG misplayed, but BLG got their stuff together after that and gave IG no other windows back in.
No, it was difficult in that way. And I do admit some of the plays, like, they looked flashy for IG trying to fight back, but they were constantly at like a 4,000 gold deficit every time. And even if they were trying to claw back, that timer just never came around for them. But this is a really good situation, kind of be a little bit more introspective into the likes of Knight and Bin. We really put a big onus on going into this series. And I think Knight had a better game 2 in the end comparatively to that game number 1. Not as the level that maybe we would expect from these 2 guys, but I can feel them ramping up in this series.
Hopefully everyone ramps up this series, Mazel. I mean, we're in for a big one, hopefully.
Yeah.
Again, I think BLG need to pay a little bit more respect towards mid-outer turrets moving forward. They signed up for a 4v5 in this clip. But to be fair, this is one of the last clips where IG were able to find any wins. As it was a big fight from them, but Yeah, I think that for me, if I'm IG, I take inventory of the dives and how they play some of those sideline rotations. Like, you had a rookie on Aurora with a lead, and they were not able to find the Aurora versus Yone matchup in the side lane. I know that TheShy scored a solo kill, but Aurora, it really felt like was kind of pushed out of the game because it actually went into the bot lane of BLG, and that lead that rookie had, it kind of went wayward. As this fight was also really well played by IG, I gotta say.
Yeah.
I really like how they've used some of the terrain in some of these fights, and definitely, again, something to look out for as this series moves forward. I know this is a 1-1, but I really like how IG have played so far, Mazel. And
me too.
I had BLG 3-1 coming in. I thought BLG would be the favorites, but what we've seen so far, I mean, I think that both these teams can, you know, explode impressively or not impressively at any time, right? It can be an explosion of goodness or badness, which makes this series kind of fun.
True.
But
and
at the moment,
we're seeing a lot of the meta kind of being fleshed out here. I'm really curious what we're going to be, because these teams are known, you know, sympathizers with very random picks, or at least very different picks as well. And I really want to see if those start coming out here in game number 3, because whatever you've saved, whatever you've been waiting to pull out, today is the day. Either today or tomorrow when you're playing lower bracket finals or grand finals. I think it's really important to show and flex the fact that both these teams definitely have some more ingredients in the tank.
Yeah, in hindsight, that was a tough one for Gala. I think that
That was tough.
might have been able to try and play in the Baron pit because he had a flash, but still, you get Elk over the top eventually, no matter what. And then this one for Gala, I feel like he could have played better because, like, we're kind of in melee range, and we probably should have ulted as the R3 came out as Bin. And then the rip, he ripped while Bin went golden. I feel like that could have been expected. Or, like, Bin didn't react to that. It felt like he ripped while the golden was up, so... Like, if it's a reaction from Bin, we give him a nice play, but Bin was already golden when we went for the rip, which felt kind of awkward. Meanwhile, Elk just playing these fights fantastically. I know that he hit the big Kaisa clip at Worlds last year.
He did.
And managed to hit a few in this one. Yeah, I really feel like Gala, again, the 3 deaths that he had were really problematic for me in that game. I feel like he didn't play those 3 fights out very well. And the setups for IG, to be fair to him, I think that it was a little bit difficult what BLG were able to do, but just really important you get your Xayah to function in that game, because and if you're burning those sums early, it's really tough to deal with when you still have so many tools up for BLG and have to play into like that Fate Sealed in the Killer Instinct from Kaiser over the top. Like, you gotta, as IG, burn a few of those out and protect Gala early on if you actually want to be able to play the Xayah out in those fights.
Because I think while we talk so much about the solo lanes, we do continuously go focus on that pot lane, because it can be the difference maker in a lot of these situations. I think I know who's about to get MVP. It's not who I thought.
Honestly, deserved. Honestly, deserved. I thought On had an awesome game.
Even with those aggressive killer instincts, man. All right, I'll give it to you. Maybe I'm ADC biased.
It was not a hard game. It was not a hard game for Elk. It was a much harder game for On, and he played with that creativity really well. He stuffed the 2 dives, and for me, that's what really turned the game around.
Yeah, and the Shen coming in clutch for him as well with the unsealed
pick.
spell. Like, almost stole a dragon, I'm just saying.
It was a great pick. I really like that one from him.
Yeah, but can't have that one next time. Nice little level up from On, though, to face off against Meiko, who had the better game number 1 as well. Some dualities we're seeing already play out in this series, and we still have much more left to go. That's it for game number 2. We're going to be sitting it ready to go for game number 3. We'll see you on the other side of the break.